Greetings everybody and welcome to the Nekros the Reapers Mercenary demonstration. Today we're going to be hopping into a T3 survival just so I can show off a couple things about the build and how it's played, at least by me. And I will see you when I get into the game.
Your job is to distract the enemy while a fellow Tenno operative raids the ship for much needed supplies. Make your presence known.
Okay, so I'm using everything from the original Nekros the Reapers Mercenary build video.
I'm sending life support capsules your way.
So nothing's changed, same stuff. Except a different primary weapon, but that's irrelevant for what we're doing. Okay, so let's get started here.
Personal life support modules dropped by fallen enemies.
As you can see, with the whole slash damage, we have enemies getting cut in half, and eventually, well, we'll be able to desecrate both halves if it would work, but unfortunately, nothing improves the chance to desecrate. So that's unfortunate, but we'll make do. I just got out of a T4 survival with this build, which was rather interesting, to say the least. I never took him in a T4 mission yet. And we got somebody down already. I'm wondering if he killed himself. That's usually the case when it comes to stuff like that. Yep. About to say, I hope I can get to him in time. There we go. See, now that's one thing with this build that you're gonna want to keep in mind, is it can be kind of tanky, but I wouldn't recommend standing still and reviving somebody or getting a capsule without tossing out a Terrify or whatever it is that you use to protect yourself, like either Terrify or Shadows of the Dead. Because standing still, you won't last very long, especially in a mission with hard-hitting enemies like this. You just won't last. I need to go down. Just a little word of advice when it comes to playing this build. So even with a... because I have a maxed out vitality on at the moment, and a steel fiber that only needs one more rank to be maxed out, and I still cannot really take much of a hit. So if you're not desecrating or using lifesteal by standing still and reviving, or you're getting a capsule, you're not gonna last. Unless you know you can live, or it's a moment of desperation, don't bother. I'm having bad luck when it's coming to my desecrates right now. See, two halves. Can I actually... there we go. Desecrate separately. I'm glad I can finally demonstrate that. I've been having bad lucks with desecrates. As a Nekros, you want to stay where there's the most likelihood to find a corpse, which is usually around your teammates. Usually. Because that's your main job. As a Nekros, that's your job. Now, I will say, for anyone who's not aware, if you have a Nova in your party, it might make your time in a mission a little bit more difficult. Because when a Nova uses molecular prime on an enemy, I'm not sure if they changed this or not, when they did changes to the Nova. But the primed enemies that die decay faster than normal enemies do. I think normal enemies decay in like 8 seconds, I do believe. So their corpses are no longer desecratable after 8 seconds. But with an enemy that's killed when they're primed and they dissolve like that, I believe their corpses decay in about 3 seconds. So you've got a much smaller window to actually cast that desecrate. Which is another reason why Natural Talent's a good pick. If you do got a Nova, and you're trying to desecrate and you miss a few targets, you can quickly recast it in hopes to get the enemies that you missed.
When you are ready, go
Oh,
to
that's kind of a crappy
extraction.
reward. But honestly, when it comes to a
The raid is
Desecrate
off to a
build,
successful start.
usually a natural talent's always pretty much going to be used. And I'm not even going to bother. If it's only one enemy and like the first Desecrate doesn't work, don't waste your energy trying to get a Desecrate off on it, because it's not even worth it. Unless it's like an Eximus enemy or something and they can drop an Oberon part for some reason, I wouldn't even bother. Don't waste the energy. And I'm going to have plenty of footage because the person who's hosting this says we're going to be going for at least 40 minutes. So I'll get to show you some hectic late game stuff as well. And that'll be fun to watch. Not for me to play, but it'll be fun for you to watch. Because then I can show you what's bad about this Nekros build.
Another life
Bad thing number 2. Kinda slow. Not a good amount of stamina regeneration. Oh, hello. This is where the Nekros shines, right here. In large battles like this is when you want to be a Nekros. Look at all that stuff. That's when you just stand here and you just desecrate your heart out. That's all you do. Until it says invalid target. Then you go kill more stuff. You go create more corpses. And I guess another bad thing about the Nova when you're doing this is you have no slash damage when it comes to them exploding violently. So a much smaller chance of enemies becoming decapitated. I guess that's not a huge issue, but can be a bit annoying. And we just got energy drained by something. So all those corpses that I was so excited to desecrate, well, shit out of luck. Bad thing about this build, well, actually I guess that's with any Warframe that uses energy, is if you get energy drained, you're kind of screwed. I see you hiding back there. There's a whole bunch of corpses over here. Let's try to get some of them. There we go. We got a life support capsule out of it. That's what I like to see. Life support capsules, mods, tons of health orbs. That's what you want.
Prepare for life support.
If you got one enemy or two shooting at you, it's okay to stand there. Take a few pot shots. That way, if you've got the rage equipped, you can kind of get a little bit of energy back. Plus, even if you don't have rage, if you lose a little bit of health and you have equilibrium, that'll still be good. Which things are getting kind of hectic with a lot of enemies here, and the Nova isn't here, so that's perfect. Ouch. Get him, carrier. Get him, boy. Our energy is not doing too amazing, but I guess at this point in time we're not taking a ton of damage either. So. And I'm out of energy. Which means something either needs to drop energy or I need to take a little bit of damage. I'm not quite sure what's more likely. Is he trying to suicide himself again, or is he legitimately down? I don't. Okay, yeah, he's suiciding again. Again, with anything that has to deal with lifesteal and stuff like that, stuns are a bit detrimental. They're pretty bad. Although it's not as bad on the Nekros because you have another form of health gain through tons of orbs and equilibrium, so it's not too bad. But later on, you're going to want to try to avoid stuns. Like that. Fortunately, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. Unless you want to trade out one of the mods in the build for a sure-footed or something like that. There's not a whole lot that can be done. Again, if we got a single target that doesn't want to desecrate, I don't know, I guess it depends how OCD and, what's the word, determined you are, but I wouldn't recommend wasting the energy. Nothing good, alright. Let's keep moving. We have a lot of prime targets here, so that means a good AoE explosion. And I have no energy. Unfortunately, you're going to have those times where your team just isn't really paying a whole lot of attention. And you might have to be the one to get some life support.
Life support has been replenished. Additional life support has arrived.
But if you are forced to get life support, make sure to Terrify or use Shadows of the Dead or whatever you use as your defensive ability if you chose one. That'll give you a little bit more of a fighting chance to survive the process.
We will all share this bounty. Hold out as long as you can.
And it looks like we're going to have a good desecration chance right here. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. And we're still pretty good on energy, even with all those desecrates. We have a fire Eximus over here. Oh, look at that. Party in here and learn fighting. Here we go, this is gonna be fun. Taking a bit of damage, having a few desecrates. Perfectly ideal. But not a whole lot of damage. The perfect situation. There we go. Although I don't think they got through my shields, so that's a bit pointless. Beggars cannot be choosers. Come here, you little bastard. And, oh, that's not good. We got energy drained in a bad spot. Wait till the drain to wear off. That would have been a good desecrate chance there, too. That is unfortunate. But what are you going to do? As far as I know, there's nothing to prevent being disrupted like that. That's another thing to do too. That little ancient guy just kind of reminded me of. If you know there's a stun coming, either from like a fire Eximus explosion or something like that, you can always just pop out a quick desecrate because that makes you immune to stun while your animation is going on. You won't get knocked over during it. And then thanks to natural talent, you can kind of get back up and fighting pretty quick. So I guess, just if you know what's coming, might not be a bad idea. Just tossing that out there. We're stunned, so we're probably going to get our shields punctured. But, oh well. This is a good chance to use a Terrify. Give us a little bit of spare time to get a whole bunch of desecrates out. Terrify is good. That situation could have went a lot worse. But it was handled pretty well. Using Terrify in the large group gave me the opportunity to kind of take a step back, assess the situation, and hunt down valuable targets while they were running. Plus, Terrify makes them take slightly increased damage. I'm not quite sure of the actual number, but look at this. If we don't get disrupted again, this will be another good desecration chance here. Wish there was another Eximus guy in there, so that's why I kind of backed out of the room right when I said that, because I kind of figured. I just jinxed myself and I was about to get disrupted. Yeah, fire a guy. I don't think there's any corpses though, so I don't know if I'd be able to. Oh, wait, it don't matter. We got it. Again, right now we're still at the point where taking damage is alright. Now when they get to a point where each hit does like 1/8 of your health, you probably want to avoid taking damage. To the point when lifesteal won't be able to keep up. So I'm trying to combo my attacks. I'm not doing very good at it right now, so this is bad. Let's get a little bit of a life strike just to get healed back up. Just get right out of a bad spot. And look at that, we got a rare mod. I always like to mark those things. And when you're in a combo like I just was and they try to stun, the stun usually doesn't work. It really depends on timing. A little bit of life strike, there we go. See, we were down to about 300, 260-ish. And a good second or two of life strike was enough to get us healed back up. But bear in mind that's entirely dependent on how much damage you can deal. So if you've got weapons that don't do a ton of damage right up front, it might take a little bit longer for you to heal back up. Another good Desecrate chance if we don't get disrupted. There's another Eximus. Oh, this could be bad. Stuns are not good. Terrify time. Hurry up and do another Desecrate real quick. Now this is when things may start to get a little bit hectic. They're starting to do more damage and stay spread out. The more closely grouped they are, the better, obviously. But you can't always get what you want. Our Terrify's back up if we should need it, but it doesn't look like we will. Actually, we might. Now that we're stunned. Let's go ahead and do that. Buy us a little bit more time. And we should probably find that viral Eximus. Is that him? I don't know. So this is going pretty well, I gotta say. Our Terrify is about to be back off cooldown. We're not gonna have any energy problems because we're taking a good bit of damage quite often. Quickly desecrate the prime targets. So I think somebody sent him flying with a bow or something. Hurry up. That was a lot of guys that we just killed. Now it's usually at about this time this build really starts to shine. A lot of not too strong enemies to take out, but enough enemies to a certain strength where they can deal you enough damage not to kill you, but to make sure you don't have any energy problems. So yeah, if you're going to about 40 minutes, it'd be about halfway through the run, usually. And we're disrupted, so we better be careful. If things get too bad, we gotta make sure to bail. But they didn't get too hairy. We just have to keep an eye on our energy, which I kinda can't because my fraps counter's in the way for some reason. I should really move that, but oh well. Yeah, let's move back down. Ooh, look at this. I get excited when I see things like this. If you have to, right in the middle of a fight, actually not if you have to, if you think you should, I would always keep Desecration on the mind. You don't always have to kill everything before you Desecrate, because then you may miss a lot of chances. Plus, Desecrating for a little bit and taking a little bit of damage isn't too bad. Let's help these guys out. Throw in a Terrify because we have a lot of big enemies coming. Trying to start my combo so I don't get stunned, because I know he was going to try. Come on, go down. There we go. And I think our perfect time is about over. The enemies are getting tougher. They're dealing more damage, and they are taking a lot more damage before they die. You're always going to get a lot of energy now because you're taking so much damage. But as time ticks on, you really need to keep an eye on your health. This is when you're probably going to rely a little bit less on health orbs and equilibrium and a little bit more on life strike. So that was actually really good. Here's another big group with a lot of primed enemies. Having a Nova on your team can be good for taking out large groups of enemies at once. You just have to make sure that you're quick on your Desecrates. Always stick with the group if you can, assuming your group stays grouped. I know some squads don't. Which looks like there's a lot of action going on around here. That's a reason why you're probably going to want to put corrosion on your weapon. Because once you get to about this time, the enemies are very armored, and they're not going to go down without a fight. Oh, don't want to miss all them. Ooh, look at all that. And we have an ally down over here. If you have an ally down, always have Terrify ready once you get there, because you might not have a ton of time. Which actually, I don't think we're going to be able to reach him. No, we're not. I'm not quite sure how he died. There's nothing here. Actually, he may have been AFK. In that case, I have no pity. That's great. Woo! See, I was comboing and that stun missed. What I'm gonna do, let's get up. Yeah. Kept trying to slide, but he just kept crouching. Oh, I'm taking a bit of a beating here. Life strike time. Oh, actually, no, we just got disrupted, so that's really bad. I'm not going to be able to live if I try to revive him, and I got disrupted again. This is a good time to do what I said earlier and bail. So unfortunately, until the disruption goes away, which find out who's causing it, which I'm thinking it might be this guy. I'm not sure if I'll actually... Yeah, he's not doing much damage to us. We'll be alright. I hope it's this guy. There's certainly a lot of Eximus troopers around here, so it might not be him. Okay, let's get some of this energy. There we go. Stressful situation. A lot of disruptions. We weren't able to use our lifesteal or gain energy to desecrate, but we made it out alright. Which now we have even more disruptions. Woo! It's a party. Which this could be bad. Time to go. You may not be able to see the health numbers, but you can still see the bar. And I see it well enough to know that it's time to go. Which this is bad. Actually, I don't know. Yep, that wasn't going to reach. If I wouldn't have jumped away, I probably would have been alright by terrifying. But unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to terrify the people who were actually attacking me. Learn from my mistakes, people. Learn from my mistakes. But it's alright. The team got here, we got revived, so we're all good. Corrosion is amazing. Bear that in mind, always. Now a little hint, if you pay attention to the border of your screen, you'll know when they're doing damage to your shields or your health. So you don't always have to watch your health. Just when the little red border shows up that says you're taking damage on your health and not your shield. It's a good way of knowing. It can help save you some time and some sanity. Did that guy just fly? I think he just flew. Huh. Odd. Always, always, always make a priority out of Eximus targets. Because you don't want to get disrupted. If you have to desecrate, and there's a lot of enemies in a hallway that might become a problem, move out of the line of sight, obviously. Which we've got some enemies coming over this way. And an ally's down. And I'm stunned, which they didn't attack me very much, so that's good. We've got Terrify selected. Let's see if we can actually reach this one in time. Which there weren't a lot of enemies. Which actually we got someone down there who's down too. There we go. A quick Terrify to kind of distract some of the enemies that are coming. That's not good. I honestly don't think we have to go. But we'll see what the group says. Take a little break out of the killing spree to do a little bit of desecrating. Not a problem with that. And again, there we go. Because being a melee Warframe, you're going to knock your enemies around and stun them quite a bit. Which is, oh, there we go. Finally, we got some puncture on this guy, some corrosion. Hello. I don't know if we're trying to leave or not. What's this guy doing? See, look at this. We're perfectly fine on our own. Come on, die already. There we go. Where's... Oh, I guess we're leaving. That's the mission. So, that is the demonstration of Nekros the Reapers Mercenary, the build that I created. That, I'm not sure, hopefully... Well, the little text should have appeared at the beginning of the video, and I will put an annotation with the link to the build video on there. So, I would like to thank you all very much for watching. If you have any other questions or suggestions about the build, please feel free to let me know, and I will see you next time.